The Jake Asman Show will begin shortly. Thanks to all these great Patreon members who help support the show. Get your super chats ready. Jake will be here in just a moment. If you love the New York Jets, this is the place to be. And now, the Jake Asman Show.
Today is a monstrous day in our country's history. It is the NFL trade deadline at 4 p.m. Eastern time. Will the Jets make any moves? We'll talk about the latest reports on that and much more. It's the Jake Asman Show. Let's hit it and get it started.
Man, our Jets are primed for a historic season.
We didn't let the outside noise and world divide us. That game right there represents exactly where the process of this thing is. We're all we got. We're all we need, man. That's it.
Your first win, man.
We bleed Jet green each and every day. This is not the same old Jets. We have Aaron freaking Rodgers. We have Garrett Wilson. Let's go. We have Breece Hall. Please subscribe and hit the like button below. Super chat, baby. Cut the line. We have Sauce Gardner. We have Quinnen Williams. The Jet bandwagon is loaded. Now it's time to talk all things New York Jets. It's the Jake Asman Show.
Here we go, Jet fans. Welcome in, everybody. Before we get started, a reminder to subscribe to this channel if you haven't done so already. Thank you to all the Asmaniacs for helping us hit that 40,000 subscriber threshold. Jets take on the Cardinals on Sunday. Today is the NFL trade deadline at 4 p.m. Eastern time. And according to Rich Cimini, the likely scenario for the Jets is that they will be standing pat. That is the most likely scenario according to Rich, who says, I'd say stand pat is most likely, though a Mike Williams trade can't be ruled out. Let's talk about Mike Williams specifically. If you're the Jets, right now, Allen Lazard is out a minimum of 3 more games. Why would you want to trade Mike Williams? Because what are you really getting for him? Now, I just saw maybe one of the dumbest trades we'll see this entire day. Maybe one of the dumber trades we'll see over the last couple of years. So maybe if the Jets could actually get Mike Williams for what the Carolina Panthers just turned Jonathan Mingo into, then I'd listen. Right? Mike Williams, I don't think would get you a whole lot. Well, moments ago, Jonathan Mingo just got traded from Carolina to Dallas for a 4th-round pick. You get a 4th-round pick for Mike Williams, I'll listen up. I don't see that being possible. That said, I guess there's always a dumb owner or dumb GM out there. The Cowboys just proved that. But I wouldn't trade Mike Williams if I'm the Jets. At this point, this game on Sunday is what's essentially a playoff game. You got to win almost every game here down the stretch. You certainly got to win on Sunday because you can't drop to 3-7. So you got to win. You got to put yourself in position to hopefully be playing for 5 and 6 at your bye week and then get some significant rest. You only play 2 games the entire month of November. 2 games in 30 days for the Jets. So why make any move and make your team worse when it doesn't appear like there's a whole lot out there you can get? I think the Mingo trade is like the only exception when it comes to a Mike Williams deal. I wouldn't trade him. I'd keep him. Lazard getting hurt. I hate to say I told you so, but when they traded for Devontae Adams, I said the most Jet-like thing to happen would be one of these guys gets hurt. At least it's Lazard and not Garrett. At least it's Lazard and not Devontae. But the reality is this. I think it is more likely than not the Jets really don't do much today. I do agree with what Rich is putting out there. Now, if you look at his tweet, though, he says some factors to consider. Jets still have an outside chance to make a playoff run. Woody Johnson is all in, as we know. I think from an optics standpoint, the Jets trading away Mike Williams looks poor. You went all in for Devontae. You got Reddick in the building. You finally had a really good game. And now you're going to jettison some players? Optic-wise, it looks silly coming off a win. If they had lost that game to Houston last Thursday, I think at that point, 2-7, you make that move. Well, they won. So I think you owe it to this fan base it behooves you to this fan base. Just stay the course and see if you can maybe get hot, win the next two, be 5-6 into the bye, and have a chance to make your season relevant down the stretch. Because you look at the AFC playoff standings right now, there are some really flawed teams that are going to be in the mix for that 6 and 7 seed. The other note, Rich notes here, is trading a useful player for a future pick doesn't help Joe Douglas, who might not be around to utilize the pick. I agree. Right? We know Woody wants to win. We have no idea if Joe Douglas is here, so why would he make his team worse and get a pick that he's probably not going to be here to use if the Jets don't somehow turn this around? It makes no sense. Trading Williams means Gibson's wide receiver 3 until Lazard returns, still at least 3 games away. What have you seen from Xavier Gibson this year that would make you feel comfortable in 11 personnel that he's out there at receiver? What have you seen that would make you be like, yep, we're good with him? Nothing. Now, maybe the only argument is if you trade away Mike Williams, there's more of a role for Malachi Corley. But come on. We just watched Malachi Corley with his first ever opportunity to make a big play drop the ball at the 1-yard line. Maybe that's why he's not playing, because he's not smart enough to pick up the offense. He's a rookie. He's still learning. You can't go out there and tell me that you would feel comfortable with Gibson or even Corley in the starting 11 personnel if you got rid of Mike Williams these next 3 games. So it makes no sense. Now, the one thing I'll note about Rich's tweet here, he says areas of need, guard, and safety. How could you not put defensive tackle on this list? Run stuffer. I got 3 technique DT. So areas of need, guard, and safety. Well, I think AVT might be back this week because they never put him on IR. And Vera Tucker's missed the last 2 weeks. So that, in theory, would open it up for him to maybe be back this week. And safety, I don't know about you guys, Jalen Mills has done a nice job. Isaiah Oliver has been fine. You should be getting Tony Adams and Chuck Clark back at some point here. I don't think safety is a need. I think when it comes to areas of need, the biggest area of need is head coach, but we can't worry about that till the offseason. And the second true real area of need and an actual like number 1 area of need for the Jets should be defensive tackle. That's what the Jets need. Especially, going into this game on Sunday against Arizona, a team that could run the football with James Conner, a team that has a mobile quarterback in Kyler Murray. But I don't know who exactly is out there for the Jets to acquire. Now, you look at some of the names that people have thrown out there. I'll give the Buffalo Jet fan credit for this suggestion. We've talked about it on the show the last couple of days. Seems like the Browns are in fire sale mode with the moves they've already made. Shelby Harris, one of their defensive tackles, would make some sense. He's 18th out of 202 interior defensive linemen in run defense. He has 2.5 sacks on the year. He'll count for less than $4 million against the salary cap for the rest of this year and all of next year. You would make Quinnen, Kinlaw, and Harris your 3-man interior defensive line rotation. You'd phase out Solomon Thomas from that role. Like, that's a player that I think would make some sense. And that wouldn't cost you a whole lot. We're talking about maybe a 5th-round pick for that type of move. That would be a move that I think would make sense for the Jets. But I don't really see a ton of options for the Jets outside of maybe adding that interior D lineman to help them against the run. As Neil would say, the big fatty. It's interesting. I saw a report today that Bryce Huff is seemingly available in a trade. You want to make a call, Joe? Now we have Reddick and Huff. I'm just saying. But they really need a run stuffer. Huff is not a guy who's going to stop the run. Just funny how I saw that was out there. They need a run stuffer. That's the bottom line. As Tom Ace puts it, fatties need love too. And he's right. We need a big run stuffer, fatty up the middle. But ultimately, you look at some of these deals. I mean, what really makes sense? Zarius Smith went for late round picks And we just watched the Cowboys trade a 4th-round pick for a receiver that's not any good. And Jonathan Mingo. Crazy. A 4th-rounder. I mean, Mari Cooper and Devontae Adams went for 3rd-round picks. And then you have, like, the Hopkins trade. He scores 2 touchdowns last night on Monday Night Football for Kansas City. Gee, who would have thought that would happen? He goes for a conditional 5th. Jonathan Mingo went for a 4th. Jerry Jones is an idiot. So, I don't know. You need some dumb owners out there who also are the team's GMs to make some moves. But I would expect the Jets to probably stand pat today. We'll obviously be live later in the day to react to anything that might happen. But, you know, if you are going to do something, I think the most logical move the Jets could make is to try and find an interior defensive lineman that can play the run. Because that's a weakness for this team. And, you know, given the next 2 games, right? Kyler Murray and James Conner, and then Jonathan Taylor in Indianapolis coming up. Any help you can get against the run could be huge. Ladies and gentlemen, hit the like button if you're just tuning in. Subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. Appreciate all the Asmaniacs for their support. We'll take your calls coming up. Today's Jake Asman Show is presented by my friends at Mando Deodorant. Ladies and gentlemen, listen up because you guys stink.
Here we go. Introducing Lumi for men, and we named him Mando. The whole body deodorant that's clinically proven to block odor all day and controls odor for 72 hours on pits, feet, privates, between your butt cheeks. So here's the odor controlling math. 12 hours after a shower with soap, the average armpit and nether region had an odor score of 8 and 5 out of 10. 12 hours after a shower with soap and applying Mando, those odor scores were 0. How do you like them apples?
Yeah, baby. Get yourself some Mando deodorant today. Head over to Shop Mando right now. You'll get $5 off their best-selling starter pack when you use code ASMAN at checkout. Mando was nice enough to send me their whole-body deodorant spray, which is awesome, to go with the stick deodorant I already use every day. So they have something for everyone, fellas. I'm telling you. I love all of you, but I've met a lot of you. Unfortunately, some of you smell. All right? Very smelly. I'm here to help. Mando deodorant. Protection against odor for 72 hours. Shout out to Mando for being a part of our show. Once again, shopmando.com. Use that promo code ASMAN. Take advantage of their starter pack. Try all the products. You'll find the ones you like, and you'll smell nice. Simple as that. Here we go. Comments, questions, super chats. We'll cut the line. The big fella's in the house with a $10 super chat. Jake, the super chat is for you getting blocked by LeBron. Congrats. It's a badge of honor. Blocked by James. You're right. By the way, I want Dalvin Thompson from the Browns. Side note, go vote everyone. Thank you, big fella. Dalvin Tomlinson would be nice. Nathan Shepard. I haven't checked in on him in a couple of weeks, but that's a name I threw out there a while ago. Let's see what he's up to. He's still playing. He'd fit the system. Let's see how Nathan Shepard's doing this year. Old buddy. 6'4", 315 pounds. The Jets use a 3rd-round pick on this guy. What a McCagnon pick that was, huh? 31 years old. Remember, Nathan Shepard was drafted when he was already old. His first year with the Jets in 2018, he was 25. What a horrendous pick. He's actually had a nice career there, as we know. Been with the Saints the last couple of years. This year he's played all 9 games. He has a half a sack. He's got 23 total tackles, 2 TFLs, 3 quarterback hits. He'd be perfect against the run. That's a name I'd look into as well. Saints are obviously done. Fired their coach yesterday. Can you get Nathan Shepard back? Name to watch. Tomlinson would be good too, big fella. I like that. Hit the like button if you're tuning in. Super chats, cut the line. We would love to get some channel memberships going here. So if anyone wants to gift a membership, we will shout you out. If you gift a membership and Tom Ace receives it, we're sending you free merch. If Rich in the chat gets your membership, we're sending you free merch as well. 2 of our longtime listeners not having memberships. What a disgrace. All right, let's open it up now. Comments, questions, and your super chats, Gusbuster hotline as well. First up today is the Hamburger, who joins us now. What's up, Hamburger?
What's up, Jake? Happy Election Day.
Ah, what a day. Happy trade deadline day. More important.
I know. Happy Election Day. Happy trade deadline day. I don't think we're going to do anything, really. I don't think Joe Douglas has the keys to the car, man. I really don't. I'd like to see them make a defensive tackle move. That'd be great. I think we really could use somebody up front to stop the run. But I just don't see him doing anything. I don't even think they'll trade away anybody. I think we'll stand pat. I just don't think Woody Johnson's going to allow him to do anything right now. He just wants him to – it's do or die. I think one more loss and that kind of seals the deal for Joe Douglas.
Well, I'll say this, though. If you could get one of these like defensive tackles for later round picks, why wouldn't Woody be on board with that? Because he's all in to try and win. And that player would maybe not solve all the weaknesses on this defense, but it would help a glaring weakness.
Yeah, I know. I agree. I just don't know if he's – I don't know, man. There has been no rumblings, no words, no nothings for us doing anything. So never know.
Hey, that was the case with Reddick, too. And then all of a sudden, boom, they got that deal done. So you never know.
It was. Who knows? Maybe Woody's going to do something. I just don't think Joe Douglas has much to say. I don't think he has too much power anymore. That's just what I feel. That's what I think. I don't see it.
Well, Woody's got the power. Maybe Woody's like, go get me a DT.
Yeah, possibly. I'm looking forward to listening to Robbie later. I like when he's on Tuesdays. So, I don't know. You guys have a great day. I'm going to get out and I got to take care of some things. So, enjoy. See you guys soon.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Hamburger checking in. Good call to start us off. Sears, Joe Douglas stopped working weeks ago. Feels like it. Gonzo writes in, Dallas showing how desperate they are. Offer them Izzy for something useful. Hey, do they want Izzy Abanaconda for a 5th-round pick? Oh, that's a name I haven't heard in a long time. Jay says, Joe Douglas is in witness protection. No, that's a name I haven't heard. I haven't heard about in a long time. Metro Funny, Rich, Tom, Rob V without a membership is crazy to me. Doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense. I'm with you. All right, more of your calls right now. Let's say hello to our OC. Edward Ziff is on the line. Hey, Edward.
Hey, good morning, Jake. I like that idea of getting that D tackle. I like that idea.
You know, every once in a while, I have a good idea, Edward.
No, it's a really good idea, actually. The only thing is, if they do it, it's because Woody tells them, "Get me one, make a good deal," you know. And it's kind of a shame. He really did build a good team. It's just the coaching let him down.
Yeah, and well, you know what? Who hired the coach?
Well, you know, you hit on some of the guys. I mean, we got like our defensive backs coach is one of the best in the league, and you know we got Ulbrich is a good coach. Sal is a good coach. It just didn't work. Sometimes it just doesn't work. You know,
he's a good defensive coach. Yeah, look.
Yeah, he's a great guy. They loved him.
Edward. Yeah, of course. But how they finish the rest of the year is going to determine if Ulbrich has any chance of being back. They're going to have to make the playoffs. Now,
quick question. I know that Rex has been sort of lobbying to get back on the squad because he says, I'm a Jet. You know, I mean, he grew up when Buddy was a defensive coach for the Jets, and he's a Jet fan. I mean, which is great. He is a Jet fan. And I love Rex, but do you think he'd be willing to come back as a DC?
I do not.
Just to be on the team. Do you think he would be willing to be a coordinator?
No, I don't. I think he would only come back to the Jets if he was the head coach.
So what do we do with OC? I mean, do we let this guy play out the year, and if he turns the thing around, do we just keep him? Or, I mean, I'm trying to figure out because I'm at my wit's end with this team. I mean, I've been a fan since '68. You know, I've seen several seasons. You know.
I mean, Edward, there's really not much more they could do in season, right? They're not gonna make any other changes as far as the coaching staff. They had the button to press to fire Salah. They pressed it after 5 games, and now you got to live with Ulbrich and however it plays out. I mean, the biggest move they made was not firing Salah. I'd argue was replacing Hackett with Downing as the play caller. That's made a big difference.
Well, Salah wanted to do that, so my only question is, if Woody would have not just fired Salah, do you think that would have been a better equation? Keep Salah and get rid of Hackett as the play caller, and
Yes,
I'll let other people call in.
Appreciate it, Edward. I do, but I don't think we knew that at the time. Right? They thought Obrick would bring a spark, dead coach bounce. Even Jeff Saturday won his first game as an interim head coach. So they thought, okay, 2-3, we're playing for first place. Let's make the change now and galvanize the team. And at the time, most people in this fan base didn't dislike the move. So I think it's so disingenuous. Everyone's like, how could Woody fire Salah when he did? You people were all celebrating it. It didn't work. I think with Salah, though, they also weren't going to be good. It was just going to be more delayed. We'll see. Maybe Ober could get better. I mean, that second half performance against Houston, was it a mirage or did they really unlock something? Did something start to click? Is Aaron truly healthy now that he's had ample time to rest? He looked healthier on Thursday. How much healthier is he now going to look with 9 days before this Arizona game? How much cayenne pepper can he put in his water to feel good? That's the question. Mark says we're going to need a new quarterback in the draft. Absolutely. I mean, I think it's more likely than not the Jets are taking a quarterback in round 1 this year. If you had to ask me right now what I think happens. That doesn't mean Aaron's not here next year. By the way, this is what I found yesterday going through some numbers here. Aaron Rodgers' projected stats over a 17-game season. 62.3% completion percentage, 3,980 yards, 28 touchdowns, 13 interceptions. For a Jet quarterback, that's like a top 5 statistical season. If you look at all-time numbers. Think about that. Bo with a super chat. How about John Jenkins from the Raiders? He's an older player. Kind of reminds me of Al Woods. 9 games this year, 1 sack, 25 total tackles, 19 assisted tackles, 2 quarterback hits. He can play the run. Yeah, that's not a bad name. This guy been in the league a long time. 3rd round pick in 2013. I'd make that move. Just get a body in here, man. It doesn't cost you that much to bring in that type of player. Kyle Clifton in the house with a super chat. Ladies and gentlemen, $1.99 between Kyle and Bo. That's a subway ride right there, folks. DT Harris, he goes, good idea. Tight end, question mark, another edge. I don't think they're going to add another edge. Tight end wise, like who's really out there? I can't think of any obvious name. I think a defensive tackle is the most likely move because one, it won't cost you a ton, and it does feel, to me, a pretty significant need. We're going to go down that path. Comments, questions, super chats. We'll cut the line. Let's see what you guys are thinking. Ladies and gentlemen, joining us right now on the Gusbuster Umbrella Hotline is potentially a voiceless Bob from Vermont.
Hi, everybody. This is Bob from Vermont. I am Bob, of course. I'm feeling a lot better today.
You sound like shit.
Well, you smell like shit.
No, that's not true. I use Mando deodorant, so I don't smell.
I don't smell either.
Well, no, you actually stink.
You stink, too.
No, you stink.
Okay, good night. Goodbye.
That's it? You're done?
Yep, that's it. That's all I have to say.
So you stink and you sound like crap. Thanks, Bob.
Well, you know, I need to find Matt O'Leary. He's supposed to come on my show. I want his butt on a stick. Bobby.
Maybe the shortest Bobby Midnight call ever. Thanks, Bob. Appreciate it. More of your calls. Incredible. More of your calls right now. Here we go.
It's time for another V-Man call. Hopefully he's not on the toilet.
Hey, Jake. What's up? How you doing?
Hey, V-Man.
Well, I agree with you on the D tackle thing. I think that's probably the only logical move that you could really make right now because you're right. It is the cheap. It's the cheapest. You're not in a position where it's like you're definitely in the playoff mix. You're clinging on, so you don't want to make a whole bunch of big moves only for it to just only to be suddenly it's like now we got to looking towards the draft and you just gave away a bunch of picks. So something that's going to be cost effective that's not going to hurt your draft stock if it doesn't pan out.
Yeah, I think at this point, we're talking about moves along the margins. It's why I think it makes so much sense to get one of these DTs because they don't cost a lot in deals. And we're seeing like some of these trades like that you look around, you're like, Zadarius Smith went for what? You could get a John Jenkins, a Sheldon Rankins, maybe, a Nathan Shepard. Someone mentioned Dalvin Tomlinson that might cost you a little more, but like there's guys out there you could add that won't cost you a ton that could fill the need.
Yeah, no, I agree.
What's on the agenda today, V-Man? How are you spending your NFL trade deadline day?
Just relaxing, just staying in the house, keeping tabs on everything what's going on in the world. No, I got my PR stuff repping tonight because it's a big day in Puerto Rico.
Are you hitting the campaign trail at all today?
No, I'm staying home.
Really?
Yeah, someone's got to watch these dogs.
We now go live to our political expert, Vincent.
You're a political clown show. That's what you are. Have you ever seen a Green Party activist knock on your door? I haven't.
Helping us change the world. Thank you, V-Man.
Big day for you, V-Man.
That's like if you don't know what's at the bottom of underneath my name.
Patria Nueva.
Patria Nueva. New home translates to new homeland.
I see.
It's the slogan of the third-party coalition attempting to break through the two-party system in Puerto Rico.
What a system indeed it is.
It being like the one that steals all your money and then tells you that tells you that the only way to fix everything is to become a state.
V-Man, thank you.
We now go live to our political expert, Vincent.
You engage and support a party that doesn't do jack shit. You want to see a real third party in action?
Helping us change the world. Thank you, V-Man.
Big day for V-Man. No one knows what he's talking about, but in his own mind, it sounds like a good idea. And that, my friends, is the V-Man experience. Ladies and gentlemen, it is apparently election day. How do I know this? Because Connor Long is calling during the day when he normally is at school. Hello, Connor.
Jake, how you doing?
How's the day off going, Connor?
It's going well. It's going well. I actually had off on Friday for a holiday I believe it's called Diwali or something like that. So I had off Friday, have off today. Then I have off on Monday for Veterans Day. So got a nice stretch of off days coming up. But I like the idea of John Jenkins. That's someone I've kept my eye on the past few weeks. Someone else I want to get your thoughts on, two players actually, Jake. Sebastian Joseph Day on the Titans. He's been great against the run. The Titans are, pretty much falling. They did win on Sunday, but they're, 2-win team right now. They're pretty much falling apart. They're most likely going to look to sell. And then Tyrann Mathieu, the Honey Badger in New Orleans, he's a free agent at the end of the year. And, New Orleans, they're a dumpster fire. They just fired their head coach, Dennis Allen, yesterday. Thoughts on those two players there?
Either one I think would help. I think it depends on cost. But either one I'm on board with. Barring it taking more than a fifth to get a DT, I would add someone today that makes this team better.
Now, Mike Williams, do you think he's here at the end of the day?
I do. I talked about it at the top of the show. I don't see what the benefit would be trading the guy when Allen Lazard's out at least 3 more games.
Yeah, and then one more quick thing. I saw the tweet from Samini. He mentioned guard as possible target for the Jets to look to add on. Do you see them doing anything at that position or no?
Say that one more time, Connor.
Guard, Rich Samini, he put out a tweet earlier today, and he said, guard is a position to look at with the AVT injury, obviously, and then John Simpson, the groin. Do you see the Jets doing anything there?
I do not see the Jets adding a guard. Now, if they do add a guard, I think that tells you, one, AVT is not close to coming back, but he should be close to coming back because they didn't put him on IR, and he's already missed the first 2 games. So, in theory, he could play this week. And then 2, if you're adding a guard, what does that mean for the health of Simpson, who left, came back in, then left again?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I would figure they're not going to add a guard.
All right. Thank you, Jake. Appreciate it. Have a great rest of your day.
You too, Connor. I would hope Olu could play guard this week if they need him to. I mean, I thought Olu did pretty good, all things considered. Bo with a super chat. Thank you, Bo. $10 to the Chipotle Fund. Yeah. Jake, I think they need to stay with 4 tackles against Arizona. Absolutely need to soften the defense with Allen from the start till he's unproductive, then hit them with Brees show. Look, we've talked about this. They don't seemingly want to do this. Now, I think there's ways they could just get Brees involved earlier. We've seen Brees is at his best when they get him on the edges. Like, he's not a short yardage guy you run through the tackles or run through the guards, I should say, up the middle. You know what the Jets did really well on Thursday watching this game back? They ran the crack toss several times. We did it on film review yesterday with Fialco. They had a lot of success with that. I'd run more crack toss run plays this week. Jets need to score, to me, at least 4 touchdowns, at least get the 28 points if they're going to beat Arizona. Because I think Arizona's going to put up points. So you got to hope Rodgers is, 1, healthy, which he should be, and 2, he's on his game like he was in the second half, and this team can win. Curly with a great question. Is Wes Schweitzer alive? You hope so. We've heard nothing on the guy. He went on IR and then nothing. Jared B says, hope everything is okay with Boy Green and the baby. Haven't heard anything for 2 days. So I checked in with Boy Green yesterday, and he says that he's dealing with baby hospital stuff this week, so he'll probably be out of commission. So sending Boy Green all the best as he's about to have his second child with his fiance. Metro Funny says, crack toss is what the crackhead play up here. Hey, the play works. Boomtown writes in, is Roger Saffold available to bring it for depth? What a move that was, huh? What was your favorite memory of Roger Saffold on the Jets? What a moment in time.
How'd you like to play some football? Football. Yeah, would you like that? Report to the practice field tomorrow morning, 9 o'clock.
Incredible. Adam says that second half Jets performance beats 75% of teams in this league. Just need that consistency. I agree. The problem is we've seen the Jets play a great game on Thursday night, and then they came out and lost 5 in a row. And they were flat as a pancake against Denver, and they got Rodgers killed that day. And that affected him the next several weeks. He wasn't the same guy we saw on that Thursday. If they can keep Aaron healthy in this Cardinals game, I think he's going to play well. I do. I think the key is obviously protecting him and scoring and building a lead. I mean, to me, that's the key to everything. Ladies and gentlemen, let's say hello right now to Doug in his room as he joins the program. Hello, Doug.
How you doing, Jake? Not only is it the NFL trade deadline, but Maction returns tonight. That's the biggest thing in our country that returns.
Big night ahead for Maction. Yep.
But yeah, no, I don't really think they're going to do anything. If they had won the Patriots game, I think they maybe feel a little bit more inclined to do something, or like just any other of the games this year, and they were 4-5. But right now, there's no reason to it. Thank God. Next week is in prime time, 1 o'clock. Love that. But yeah, otherwise, nothing too crazy going on. How's your day going so far, Jake?
Living the dream, Doug. I mean, who's got it better than us right now?
I mean, almost everybody, but also, I mean, it could be worse. I mean, I think the worst team to be right now is a Saints fan by far. Like, is there a worse
Panthers too? I feel like is pretty bad.
But at least the Panthers have an insane amount of cap room. The Saints are in cap hell.
They did just make a nice trade. The Panther getting a 4th-round pick for Mingo. What is Jerry Jones doing?
And then Canales could be a good head coach. I don't think he's a bad head coach. It's just I'd much rather be a Panthers fan than a Saints fan right now. I think the Saints are like the worst situation by far in the NFL.
Yeah, we still don't know. That is fair.
But yeah, so yeah, it could always be worse. That's the positive side of being a Jets fan, I guess. That right now it could be worse.
It could be. It also could be a lot better.
Better, yeah. But like, I'm trying to be positive, Looking forward to the. Well, no, I'm not gonna say looking forward to a game. We never have easy games. I think if we're gonna have an easy game, it's gonna be the Colts game. I don't know why, but like, especially with Joe Flacco, I think it's gonna be one of our. If it ends up being an easy game, that would be the one that I think it ends up being.
Joe Mike writes in, Doug in a room or 5x5 cell?
I'm in a room. It just doesn't look like. I just don't decorate at all.
You ever gonna decorate your room, Doug?
No, I don't need
No.
to decorate.
No, you just don't feel like it.
I sleep in here. I have a TV in here. I have everything, and I have my bed. I have everything I need in here. My clothes,
I'm happy for you, Doug.
Yeah, like why do I need to decorate? I'm not trying to please anybody by with my room.
No, you come on now. You don't need that.
I'm a simplest. I enjoy the simple things in life. Why be extravagant?
Well, yeah. Doug, you have yourself a hell of a day, all right?
You have a great Maction Tuesday, Jake.
I will. Thank you, Doug. Big day for our country. Maction Tuesday, NFL trade deadline. Unreal. All right. I have a surprise for people tuning in live right now. Something we've been working on behind the scenes for a while on this show. I want to give a huge shout out to Tom Ace, Rich, and the great Boomtown for putting together the first ever Asmaniac Power Rankings. That's right. I have the rankings. They were sent to me in a PDF file, detailed breakdown that you see on the screen. Now, you guys obviously can't read it because the print is too small, but I just wanted to show you how much went into the detailed breakdowns on these power rankings. I'm going to explain the criteria right now, and we will be doing this every month leading up to the first ever Asmaniac Bracket Challenge that will take place during March Madness this year. So here's how this works, all right? Some notes from the committee chair, Boomtown himself. These rankings are purely based on actual call-ins to the show for the month of October. They are not taking into account calls before October, and they have no impact on the rankings going into the Asmaniac bracket in March. Hopefully, this will inspire more people to call in and be a part of our great program. So I'm going to just read you the breakdown from our committee. Once again, a committee formed together by Boomtown, Tom Ace, and Rich. Ladies and gentlemen, here we go. I'm going to start from number 25. That's right. There have been 25 Asmaniacs ranked in the month of October. So listen up, baby. Here we go. Number 25 on the list is listener 25. Quote, there are some that predicted that this young new Asmaniac caller was destined for a top 10 ranking after his first couple calls. But since then he has been on a wild ride culminating in a controversial last show. 25 had an all-time memorable moment where he slept through an hour of the Jake Asman show and were serenaded by not only Tammy C, an up-and-coming superstar caller, but also the Lane Train himself with the hit song 25-25. The vibes were riding high until on the last show of the month, he went after legendary caller and fan favorite Rick Kent. 25's future is uncertain, and the outcome ranges between star Asmaniac all the way to supervillain. Stay tuned. Ladies and gentlemen, coming in at number 25 on the Asmaniac list is 25. Number 24, Leany in North Carolina. Leany only had one call the entire month, but man, did she make an impression and make it count. A rant against the Jets after losing to the Steelers summed up what every Asmaniac was feeling that night. While she said she was embarrassed at showing so much positive emotion after the first Pats game, she was equally crushed after losing soundly to the Steelers. Leany wears her heart on her sleeve and truly is the queen of the Asmaniacs. Coming in at number 23, I cannot believe there's 25 callers on this list. We might have to cut this down to 10. I don't know if I can read 25 names here. The description, this is insane. Number 23, the man disappeared for months. Number 23 is We the People. The man disappeared for months under very suspicious circumstances, but his return has been nothing short of spectacular. He's a creative genius with his backgrounds every time he calls in and consistently gets a laugh out of Jake. While sometimes he has very little to say during his calls, he always makes the most of it. Number 22, Daniel Beware. The man with 3 roosters and a bunch of chickens took the show by storm in his first call. Hailing from Mexico, Daniel was extremely knowledgeable and laid out quality take after take. Daniel was also kind enough to note that all of Mexico was laughing at the Jets for playing so poorly. If Daniel can become a more consistent caller, the sky's the limit for him. At number 21, Charles Gorman. Charles came out of the gate strong early in the month with some epic calls, but went MIA in the last 3 weeks, which really hurt his ranking. It came out that he was dealing with an illness, but Asmaniacs were clamoring for him to push through and bless the chat with his wisdom, knowledge, comic book takes, and dreaming that a chicken noodle soup recipe might be divulged. It is highly likely that this will be the lowest Charles will ever rank going forward. Ladies and gentlemen, this was not considered in the rankings for the month, but maybe it should have been, even though it occurred on his own show.
Excuse me.
Amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, more on the October rankings for the Asmaniacs. Number 20, Jay Graves. She had really upped her game the last month, and the Asmaniacs have taken notice. She brings the energy, makes excellent points, and has an unbridled excitement every call. Jay Graves has also made a big name for herself, going to multiple meetups and leaving her mark with groups. She's an excellent representative of the amazing 4%ers. At number 19, this guy just called in, Doug on the couch/room. Doug has been one of the most consistent callers on the Jake Asman Show for years, and his takes are just as strong as ever. He did face criticism this month due to him not exclusively calling from the couch, instead opting for his room. If Doug can get into a rhythm and make calls exclusively from his couch and keep up his strong Jet takes, he should push even higher up the next rankings. At number 18, Rob the Jet fan from Glenhead. Rob really went for it this month and had a wild range of calls. He went through the entire range of emotions and even went toe-to-toe with 2 of his biggest detractors, Allen and JJ. While some point out that he lost the vote to Zach Johnson for the pleasure to win a free ticket to go with JJ to a Jets game, he's still one of the most popular Asmaniacs in the community. Rob also put any doubt about his toughness to bed when he showed off his brick that featured a dent after he hit himself on the head. The descriptions here are amazing. Number 17, JJ. JJ's normally awful calls were highlighted by one generous one where he offered a random Asmaniac to join him at a Jets game with him and his crew. He pitted one of his biggest detractors, Rob, and new Asmaniac Zach Johnson. An unexpected event also took place this month where JJ went from hardcore pessimist to extreme optimist for the Jets' outlook. With JJ all over the place on the optimist/pessimist spectrum, he's turned into a complete wild card. At number 16, King Lowski. The perpetual losing by the Jets made it difficult this month for our king, but he has still made his presence known and heard. Rants were aplenty. He did his best to fire up the Asmaniacs, and he went in hard on other fan bases. Lowski is arguably the most consistent caller to the show, brings the heat every call, and his energy is unmatched. All signs point to the king pushing into the top 10 soon. At number 15, Chiefs fan. The phenomena that is Chiefs fan. How does one even begin to describe this individual? He was great to keep all the Asmaniacs up on his employment status that featured him leaving Denny's and getting hired on at Walmart. His scathing remarks on what Denny's did in firing a longtime employee will be felt by that franchise for years to come. He also gave the Asmaniacs some key financial advice, moving advice, and most importantly, life advice. A true man of the people. At number 14, the big fella, everyone's favorite XL shirt-wearing Asmaniac. The big fella put in some excellent calls this month, made salient points, and did a great job recruiting a large number of new Asmaniacs via his gift memberships. While he took a self-imposed break after getting into a verbal altercation with Gary earlier in the month, Asmaniacs are hoping fireworks will be saved for his calls into the Jake Asman Show going forward. Ladies and gentlemen, this list is absolutely incredible, and we are just getting started here in the rankings. At number 13, Kyle Clifton, one of Jake's most solid, contributors to the show with 23 separate appearances over the month. Kyle always brings rational, well thought out questions and opinions. While normally stoic and carrying a serious tone, Kyle Clifton decided to cosplay a ghost for a couple shows. He is a beacon for all of the serious fans of the show, and a show normally filled with shenanigans and craziness. At number 12, Indomitable. Every call, this guy brings the smoke. Indomitable delivered big-time quotes, including ones from FDR, Abraham Lincoln, and Albert Einstein, and they worked seamlessly into what he was discussing. He also took time to drop one of the most memorable quotes in show history, where he said to be a Jets fan, it's like dating a hot girl who is a crackhead. His accent is world-class. He has world-class Wi-Fi in his car, and he keeps his calls tight, and has Maniac on the rise. At number 11, Neil. Perhaps he is just a cockeyed optimist, but Neil rides or dies with our beloved Gangrene. Despite the constant pain the fan base has endured, he still brings delusional positivity in every call to the show. Regardless of his unfounded optimism, he manages to lift the Asmaniac spirits. Look no further than his jersey humping prowess. Dare we say, no jersey will ever be humped harder or better than that Drake-made jersey that was on that fateful afternoon. All right, we've reached the top 10. For next month, we will do a top 10 and a couple honorable mentions. I don't know if I could verbally read 25 names here. Boomtown, you're incredible. All right, here we go. Number 10, Lane Train, Lane Kerner. Don't step on the tracks when Lane Train is coming through. It's an impossible task to stop him. The only hope is to contain him. With horrendous Wi-Fi, despite connectivity issues, he managed to persevere, providing incredible moments without even saying a word. He tried to troubleshoot tech issues, all while Jake in the chat remained on edge with anticipation of his knowledgeable takes. If the Wi-Fi issues get solved, he is a lock for a top 3 spot. Number 9, Peter Castro. The Jets may have broken him, but Peter was not going to bottle up and contain his frustrations with Gangrene and go quietly into the night. Castro went more nuclear than the Cuban Missile Crisis on the Jets and unleashed an unhinged, unfiltered fury. There is hate, and then there is hate for anyone associated with the Jets coaching staff or anyone who would dare defend them. Peter brought the smoke this month, and even the firing of Salah couldn't satisfy his unquenchable disgust. Number 8, Justin Spencer. Perhaps a distant cousin of Lane Kerner, the man bursted onto the scene in his first call and continued to provide gems across his 3 calls during the month. His biggest highlight was taking over hosting duties for Jake in just his second call ever, a first in show history. He managed to not only hold down the show, but answer questions in the chat and entertain the masses for an astounding 27 minutes. He's a superstar Asmaniac in the making. At number 7, Gary is on the list. Ladies and gentlemen, here is what the committee wrote about Gary. Some say when he calls every member of the Asmaniac chat a bunch of 75 IQ clapping seals, it both hurt and improved his ranking. It's hard to know. Gary's inability to ever take an L really caps his potential to really push to the top. But he is an extremely consistent caller, 29 times last month, and entertains the Asmaniacs on almost every call. Gary also proved it didn't matter if he was sitting in his office, a hotel room, or in a chair getting his cornrows done up by Mimi. His takes were awful no matter the location. There have been accusations that Gary has been withholding his nanny from making a second appearance on the show. If and when she does appear again, there is no telling how high up the rankings he will ascend. Your thoughts on that, Gary?
Oh, I was listening intently. These rankings are excellent. These are phenomenal. These are really, really good. You can tell they put time into this. They didn't just stick 25 names out there. These are really good. 7's an honor and a privilege. Thank you, guys. I mean, I was expecting to be 25, honestly. Maybe 24. Maybe Alan was below me. But even to be in the top 25, like if you put me at 25, I wouldn't be insulted. I would.
Knockouts don't matter if you land enough jabs.
All right, here we go. Number 6, Alan. October saw the return of the infamous Allen, one of the most polarizing Asmaniacs the show has ever seen. For months, Allen went MIA, and rumors and gossip of scandals were abound. Regardless of the reasons why he departed, he has made every single random thought that pops into his head known to anyone that will listen. He is hated by many, loved by some, but one thing is certain. He can't shake the monkier of being a fraud. Well said. Number 5, Nate. After coming onto the scene just a few months ago, Nate has established himself in the Asmaniac community as one of the most influential and interesting characters the show has ever seen. He is well researched, mostly level-headed unless Gary is involved in the conversation, and has world-class biking skills as he travels the mean streets of New York. If you are preparing to debate him, you better be prepared. Number 4, Mr. Bonesy. To make the top 5, you don't have to make calls that are long, outrageous, over the top, memorable, or filled with debating. But when all 5 are combined, you rocket up the rankings, even with only making 7 calls all month. Mr. Bonesy's shoe sale call lasted over 1 hour and 9 minutes, setting a new all-time record for call length on the Jake Asman Show, a mark that is unlikely to be broken anytime soon. The man appears to be the lifetime president of the Joe Douglas fan club. How that affects his ranking in the future is yet to be seen. Here we go. We've reached the top 3. Number 3, Bobby Midnight. This lovable character is a force of nature. He's always anxious to speak to every guest Jake has on and to ensure that every Asmaniac is up to date with scores from the previous night's games. Calling 23 times last month, Bobby always keeps Jake on his toes and provides endless entertainment for the chat. Multiple guests on the show have made it clear that the highlight of their week is speaking to Bobby. He is truly a living legend. At number 2, dun dun dun, V-Man. After a quiet September, V-Man returned with a vengeance and asserted himself as one of the strongest callers of the show. Calls went off the rails. He was caught sleeping again. Shocker. He called in while day drinking and smoking, and even took the opportunity to introduce his sister on a car trip with his mother. V-Man is back. And finally, coming in at number 1 in our first ever Asmaniac Power Rankings, which are based on people who called into the show during the month of October. Drum roll, please. The Hamburger is at number 1. This man came into the community like an absolute wrecking ball with 30 calls into the Jake Asman Show and has captivated the Asmaniac audience. The man wears his emotions on his sleeve, and with each call, it felt like the Asmaniacs were being channeled through him on all the Jets' ups and downs. He has yelled countless JETS chants, and he relentlessly defended his family from trolls like Allen. The man truly personifies what it means to be an Asmaniac. Ladies and gentlemen, the first ever Asmaniac Power Rankings. 25 names listed. I am out of breath. Shout out to Boomtown. Shout out to Scott. Scott. Shout out to Boomtown, Rich, and Tom Ace for being our committee chair for the rankings. Incredible. We'll probably do a top 10 and honorable mentions for November because that is tough to read. I'm out of breath. But ladies and gentlemen, the Hamburger, who's number 1 on the list, has called in to give a speech. Hamburger, your thoughts?
This is awesome. I'm blown away, man. What a great list, man. That is awesome. I mean, I appreciate it. Listen, I started watching the show only like a month and a half ago. I had a bad ankle injury, so I've been out for months out of work. So I'm waiting to go back hopefully in December. So I passed my time by listening to the show and calling in for the love of the Jets and listening to the show and all the characters that call in and everybody. Listen, man, everybody that does this show is awesome. It's entertaining. It's entertaining for me, my daughter. She just watched the whole thing go down now. So it's a lot of fun to be part of this show.
I love that.
In December, when I go back to work, you might not get me during the day. You'll probably get me at the 4 o'clock hour on my way home from work. But until then, I'll keep calling in. I love it. So I appreciate it. Thank you, everybody.
We love having you, Hamburger, and well-deserved. The committee did a nice job here. For those tuning in late, rewind. We gave you 25 names in the first ever Asmaniac Power Rankings. In fact, if you're on the Discord, I just posted the PDF doc with the written write-up on each name here. I mean, the details here are just astounding. It's unbelievable.
What a job, man. That took some time to put together.
Incredible. Hamburger, congrats on the honor, though. Well-deserved.
Thank you. I'll give you a JTS Jets before we go.
Here we go.
J-E-T-S Jets. Let's go.
Yeah, baby. Ladies and gentlemen, he is
Take
the
care, guys.
Hamburger.
Let's get Brett up.
All right, let me catch up on some comments here. What did I miss as we were going through that? Any controversy here? How did the chat feel about the rankings there? We'll do this every month. Once again, a great job by Boomtown, Tom, Rich, putting that together. Not easy. Anyway. Wow. All right, we'll go back to Gary. Gary, your thoughts on the overall list. What are you going to complain about?
No, I mean, look, every list is going to be, this guy should be this. It's a good list. I mean, you can nitpick and you can debate who should be ahead of who. Allen ahead of me stings a little bit. I'm fine with my spot, but Allen ahead of me? Come on.
Only calls based on October. Keep that in mind.
Okay, so each month, it's like scoring rounds in boxing. Each round stands alone, so November will just be for November. It won't be cumulative.
Exactly. The only thing that matters in the evaluation is what you do in each month. So if you had a great October, congrats. Now you got to do it again in November.
And so if you have, if like, so the Hamburger, if he doesn't call in November, won't even make the list, right? So
well, unless he calls in a couple times and has memorable calls.
Well, I'm saying if he doesn't call in at all in November, which he already did, but hypothetically, if he didn't, it would go from 1 to off the list. It's not cumulative. Yeah.
This all leads up to the Asmaniac Madness in March.
Which is going to be insane. I'm shocked. Like a 7, that would make me, like, in theory, a 2 seed in the tournament. You say 5, 6, 7.
Just based on 1 month.
Well, yeah, I would have to keep it up, but correct. Based on one, yeah. So the early, I wasn't expecting to be that high. I really wasn't. That was surprising.
Let's see. Sears says we're gonna need the seal clap from Gary to get above Allen.
Then I'll stay behind Allen.
The Boomtown writes in, fun fact, Jake took exactly 600 calls from the Asmaniacs during the month of October. I love Boomtown. Send me these stats every month. I love this. Like,
that's crazy.
Give me like the ESPN is like by the numbers with some stuff. By the numbers. 600 calls in the month of October. Bobby Midnight led all callers. Like whatever the stats are. I love that. I'll read it on the air.
I thought how many did Bobby have? They said 23.
Yeah, only 20. I'm just using him as an example.
Okay, gotcha.
I'll tell you what, Gary. I think you got a big month in you. I do. Because the Jets only played twice this month, which means there's going to be a lot of time for calls, speculation, and more bad takes from you.
So I had a couple of things. First, Doug in the room. I feel like and it was mentioned in his ranking, Doug in the room sounds like a downgrade from Doug on the couch. Wouldn't you rather be on the couch than in the room? Seems like a downgrade.
I think he's got to get back to his couch ways. I think that's the key.
And I also want to defend him. Like his place, my place looked like that too. When I first started dating my wife, the first time she came to my apartment, it looked just like Doug, like there was nothing there. And she goes, "Did you just move here?" And I was like, "No, I've been here like 3 years. Why?" And she's like looking around, like, because it looks like you just moved in. So I'm not hanging stuff on this. This is all done by the wife. I don't do any of that. I don't decorate either. So I'm with Doug on that. I'm not gonna spend time decorating. Totally agree with that. But the Jets point I wanted to make or kind of question was, we're 3-6. You guys want to be buyers at 3-6? How many other 3-6 teams do you think are buying right now?
Well, I think there's a balance to this, right? I mean, I think there's a way to add a defensive tackle for a later round pick, and technically you're a buyer, but you're not mortgaging your future to make your defense better immediately.
I mean, if you can get it for like a 5th or a 6th, something,
right? That's what we're talking about. No one's saying you're trading away a 2nd or 3rd.
I mean, shouldn't we be accumulating picks is more the thing than I know Joe's not going to want to do that because he's not going to be here to make those picks. So what difference does it make to him? But like if I'm Woody, like let's gather picks. Let's try to get some picks. Then,
well, who are you trading? I mean, you're not going to sell.
I guess, yeah.
You going to trade DJ Reed right now? Like you're still alive for the playoffs.
I'm holding. Yeah, I would. Yeah, you're not. I guess if you lost.
Right.
To the Texans,
if they lost, it's an easy decision. You trade anyone you can get value for.
It's yeah. I guess you're kind of in no man's land where you're not eliminated and you have Aaron Rodgers, so you still want to make the playoffs, but you're also 3-6. How many teams are behind the Jets? What seed would the Jets be right now in the AFC?
They're the 10th seed, but look at the teams in front of them. Like there's a real path to actually getting back in the mix. It starts with them winning, obviously, the next 2 games, but. You look at like the standings here, right? Jets are 3-6 of the 10. Cincinnati's 4-5. They're playing the Ravens this week. Colts are 4-5. You play them next week, so you have a head-to-head opportunity right away against them. Denver's 5-4. They're flawed. Chargers 5-3. They're flawed. Like there's gonna be a flawed team that's gonna be the 6th or 7th seed this year. So the Jets are right there.
Yeah, it's tough. What is that? So you're 2 games behind Denver, but you're really 3 because they have the top. I guess it's not abandoning the ship yet, but it's close to abandoning the ship. 3-6,
and the Broncos haven't played the Chiefs yet. They got to play them twice.
Yeah, we went over the Broncos schedule. It's hard, but then it's hard the next few weeks. But then the last 3 weeks it was relatively easy, I think. Yeah, I guess go with it. I mean, at this point,
yeah. Like what else are you really doing here? You're not going to get a ton. If you could get a 4th round pick for Mike Williams, I would trade him because that's just stupid what Dallas did. But I think that's just Dallas being dumb. Then like other teams being like, oh, Mingo went for a 4th. That means Mike Williams is going to go for a 4th.
I mean, Mike Williams is going to be, at least for the next several weeks with Lazard out, Mike Williams is going to be part of the offense. I'm not saying he's going to get 10 catches a day or 10 targets a game, but he's going to be a part of the offense with Lazard out in some way, right? I mean, he's gonna see balls.
Yeah, I mean, I would rather keep Mike Williams because Lazard's out the next 3 weeks.
I would rather keep him because I think he's good. Like he's been good for a long time in the NFL. I wouldn't just get rid of him. You know.
Yeah, well, we're hoping he still has that breakout game at some point. It hasn't happened yet.
Yeah. I guess that's really all I got.
Gary, thank you for the time.
Thank you, Jake. I'm not going to do the clapping seal part.
What do you mean?
I do want to, but I'm not going to do it because Gator's going to use it out of context, and then it's going to go viral, and then I'm going to have to look at it forever.
Incredible. Ladies and gentlemen, the memberships are starting to rain. All it took was a top 25 list to be revealed. Luppy dropped a 5 spot of channel memberships.
Excuse me.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following 5 people are now Asmaniacs. Eric Schmidt, E-Stack Fishing, Lenny Malice, Jason Radcliffe, Dallas James Santana. Welcome, welcome, welcome. But wait, there's more. The number 1 Asmaniac for the month of October just dropped a 5 spot of channel memberships. The Hamburger coming through for the people.
Yeah, here we come, baby. Here we come. Here come the Jets, baby.
Attic, Azzo Russell, Edwin Caban, Duarte Lott, and JoJo all receiving a channel membership. Thank you to the Hamburger for paying it forward. If you want a membership, click on either Luppy or Hamburger's name. Make sure you have the setting that says, I want to receive a gifted membership. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, and you got a shot to get one. Kyle writes in, I like Hamburger, but Cheats fans number 1 every month. He's got a shot. Any given call, Cheats fan could win the month. We know that. I mean, he's got the knockout power. He's got the eraser. All it takes is one call for Cheats fan. And he's ready to roll. All it takes is about 30 seconds for this guy to piss us all off.
Warning! Warning! Allen alert! Shit's about to get ugly, folks. Warning! Allen alert! Hide the children!
Hello, Alan.
Good morning, Jacob. Do you know what the word moniker means?
No, I definitely read that
Okay.
wrong.
You said monkey-er. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking?
I'm exhausted reading it. I knew I screwed it up, and I was just hoping no one would notice, but then I realized there's 600 people watching.
Monkey-er.
We're not getting that by. I read it wrong. I knew in real time. I just blew right through it.
Going from unranked to number 6 is a testament to my greatness. Okay, it is. It's greatness. To be a heel that high, meaning that I have made such a presence on this show. So I appreciate it. Thank you, Boom, and the other guys. 3 observations on 3 other guys on the list, and then a jet point. Chiefs fan at 15 is way too low. Way too low. I know he doesn't call in that often, but his calls are memorable. JJ at 17, again, way too low.
I think
when
Chiefs
you
fan. I want to make it clear. I have nothing to do with the list. I'm not on the committee. I'm just I want the Asmaniacs to decide. Chiefs fan. I thought his call alone last month, where he talked about headbutting people and drinking milk, making you a stronger headbutter. I thought that would get him in the top 5, just based on that one call. But it's not my list.
Yeah, that's a top 5 guy. JJ at 17, whenever you can hear him when his phone isn't fucked up, he's still a top 5 guy, okay? He's ahead of me. I'm shocked that he was behind me by 11.
Whenever you can hear him. That's part of the problem.
Yeah. And Doug at 23 is way too high. If there's 30 slots, he should be number 31, okay? He should not be on the list, okay? Quick question on the Jets. First of all, for the Lions to get Zadarius Smith for what they got him for and only have to pay him $605,000 is ridiculous. That's an amazing trade. I'm very curious to see what the Chiefs have to pay to get Marshawn Lattimore, because that's what I would see as being somewhat comparable to DJ Reed. I think they're going to get him for like a 4. Again, if they can get anything higher than a 3 for Reed, I would have dealt him. But I agree with Gary on this point. Trading assets for a team that's 3-6 is really difficult to comprehend. I understand them going after maybe a defensive tackle, but I don't see them getting anybody else. Again, here in Dallas, it's just a complete shit show. Trading a 4th for Jonathan Mingo is crazy. They're already waiting to get rid of Dak Prescott, and unfortunately, they gave him $60 million a year. For me, the Jets season is Sunday. It's a very tough matchup, as I said. They're going to need to score points in that game to beat them. Again, they cannot start out slow. Again, this is a team that's been used to struggling off long layoffs. If they think they're going to play catch up against the Cardinals, they're going to get blown out, honestly. So they need to start out fast, score early, and again, be aggressive. And one final thing, what is Todd Bowles doing last night? Not going to 2. Are you kidding me?
Did you see his explanation after the game too? Why?
I did.
The weather's bad. It's like, what? That's more reason to go try and win the game right now. You're on the road playing the defending champs. Go get the win.
Baker went all the way right down the field in the last 2 minutes, and you kicked the extra point. You knew that Kansas City was going to get the ball and not give the ball back. I mean, they caught a break on that last drive because I think it was Jawan Johnson was offside, full started about an hour before the final play.
Yep.
But again, you have to be aggressive there if you're Todd Bowles. You got to.
It's always been Bowles, man. He's always the most conservative coach in the league. That's always what he does.
And congratulations to Hamburger being number 1. Trust me, that will be the only time he'll be number 1. So thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Ladies and gentlemen, Alan being Alan. Joining us on the line right now to react to the first ever Asmaniac Power Rankings is...
It's Chiefs fan.
Guess what? I'm still looking for a job, bitches.
It's Chiefs fan.
I'm just going to rub my hands together all day.
It's Chiefs fan.
There's a whole lot of DNA on this couch.
Let's hear it for Chiefs fan.
Look, it's my dead neighbor that I didn't kill.
Hello, Chiefs fan.
Good shit, Gator. Sorry for cursing there, but 15th, really? 15th? I mean, are you really that salty that we're back-to-back champions? You got to put me at 15th?
Gator didn't make the list. It was a committee.
Oh no, I said Gator did a good job, but someone else did put me at 15th.
The list was put together by our committee chair, Boomtown, Tom Ace, and Rich, and it's based on just people who call the show in the month of October. So Cheats fan,
Oh, I need to start calling more.
this counts for
October was a
November.
good-
All right, so
Okay.
you know, just bring it this month, and you got a
I
chance to
will.
be higher
I
on the
will.
list.
I'm gonna be more active. Due to the point I got more hours now. Like I signed up for full time, and Taco Bell was like, "We got too many workers. We're giving you part time," and I'm like, "Okay." The fall is the best time of the year to hustle. So even though my back is fucked, sorry for cursing, I'll just go out there and rake leaves. Just pop a few painkillers and rake leaves. Like as a person who had knee pain ever since age 15, I'm used to Tylenol.
So you're doing a lot of drugs. It sounds like
I mean, I do weed.
you
Sure,
do
why not?
weed.
I'm back to doing that, but I can't. The landlord cracked down around here on the weed thing because someone kept on buying it on the property. So I just go to my friend's place if I'm going to spark it up. That's what I basically do. That's what we did yesterday. We sparked.
Tell us about your day yesterday. Let's hear it.
Yesterday I waited to get a bunch of Yu-Gi-Oh cards in the mail, which I just immediately sold because they spiked in price. If it ain't cash, it ain't worth it. Because these days you can't make a lot of money on PayPal apps and all that other stuff because, well, you got to tax everything, but God forbid if we have to pay $15 for an 8-ounce steak. But for Monday, I woke up, waited until I got the mail, went to my friend's place. We grilled in the rain, burgers, steak, wings, and then we sparked it up and watched the game all night. And my friend was like, "You shouldn't be drinking and smoking." I'm like, "We're losing." I was doing Jello shots last night.
You're doing
So-
Jello shots. Whoa.
Yeah, I was like, "Oh, we're losing." I'm like, "We're losing. Let me take a few Jello shots." And my friend at the end of the night, I'm like, "Don't you feel stupid for that?" I'm like, "We are probably the worst team to be undefeated since the Steelers." I tell my friends this every week.
Well, it's a good problem to have.
I mean, I just
You
hope
win
the
every
trade-
game, Cheats fan. You won the last two Super Bowls. You have Patrick Mahomes.
I want a three-peat, but like at this point, the way the Lions and the Ravens are building their team, I
You
don't
just beat
know.
the Ravens last year when the Ravens were the 1 seed. You could beat them again. They got to prove it.
I want a three-peat, but something's telling me my homies Daniel's team is going to take it this year, and the Lions are. Something is telling me it's going to be a Lions, Ravens, or Lions Chiefs Super Bowl, and I have a feeling Dan Campbell is just going to poison the water and eat all the kneecaps possible to win.
How was the food selection last night? Everything went well on the grill?
It was good. My friend likes his steak super pink, so he did his. I like mine medium. I do not understand how people could eat meat rare like that. I'm like, mad cow disease is a thing, but it is what it is.
What type of meat are we talking about?
Steak.
Steak. So
Yeah.
not human meat.
Nah. I'm gonna be real with you. Human meat ain't worth it. Eat animal meat.
You're saying human meat ain't worth it?
If you're like, if you become like, if you ever seen the cannibalized stories, like you become more inhuman. You don't want to do that. Plus, you're going down if you're a cannibal.
Are you speaking from experience?
No, I'm speaking from like religious standpoint. Like
just asking. Got to get that on the record.
the man upstairs doesn't like cannibalism.
Hmm.
Like, do you want to burn forever, or do you want to see your families with angel wings? So, don't be a cannibal.
What were your thoughts on Hannibal Lecter?
Crazy son of a bitch.
Yeah.
But one last thing before I hope you guys keep your players and at least trade for someone. I know your O line is a mess and your D line is a mess, but I'd rather you trade for more protection for Rodgers.
The O
Because
line's just injured. They actually played pretty well, I thought, on Thursday.
yeah, but like I I I don't want him to be banged up like he was against the Vikings. Like when he had to come out of that game, that was scary. I don't want that to happen for y'all again because like you had the Yankees let you down. The Giants aren't doing well. You got the Knicks to look forward to, but you don't know what the playoffs are going to be. Just live in the moment and hopefully something's good for you, Jet fans. Because right now, I am just tired of the rest of your division constantly bullying you guys. I'm like, if Rodgers can go on a run to make the playoffs with the Packers, he can do it with the Jets. And like you said, at this point, an 8-loss team could probably make it because I was looking at the AFC, studying the AFC after waking up this morning with a headache due to all that stuff I did last night. And I'm like, there is a chance that there could be 1 or 2 9-8 teams making the playoffs. And then there's a chance in the NFC you can lose 6 games and still not make the playoffs, depending how good that side is.
Rich writes in, Chiefs fan asserts himself to the November 1 seed and kills folks too.
I don't kill people. Now, would I recommend to be the number 1? Yes, but like it is what it is. I just really hope you guys get something good, and like I know you guys beat the Texans, but please watch out against the Cardinals. They're like an up and coming team and deadly. I just want you guys to win.
The quote, human meat ain't worth it. If I put that on a t-shirt with your head on it, would you buy one?
I mean, go for it.
Okay.
I mean, go for it as long as I'm getting a little bit of money. And probably what I would do with the money is like take 25% and like give the other 25% to charity.
You gotta go to Applebee's and get an Applebee's steak with that.
Yeah, true. It is that time of the year to be like charity. Like I overspent on groceries this month just so I have a shit ton of canned goods to give to the pantry around the holiday season. So I overspent on canned goods and I went out and bought extra boxes and socks and thermals, and I'm gonna drop some stuff off to the pantry that's like a 5-minute walk from me.
You're a good Samaritan, Chiefs fan.
Well, I grew up in the hood and I grew up poor. I know what it's like to like go 1 meal a day. So or have cut up thermals for the last 5 years because you grew up poor in the hood. Like people need it. I mostly got adult clothes, so I don't want to buy that kid clothes stuff. I'd rather have the pantry handle that. And when you're doing say you're buying all the adult clothes, now the parents don't have to worry about getting them new clothes.
Right.
They can focus all on their children. And thermals were marked down at Walmart. They were anywhere between $7 for knockoffs to $11 for Fruit of the Looms. They went from 50. They were 50% off across the board. So I got myself some, and I got some for the pantry, because they always say no one donates winter stuff anymore, and thermals are really good. Plus, they're really nice when you go hunting. Keep you warm in those cold days.
Chiefs fan, excellent call out of you. Way to start the month of November strong.
Oh, one last thing before I go. If you guys do go hunting or buck hunting, show me that stuff in the Discord. I used to go deer hunting all the time. I just can't.
Any truth to the rumor your freezer is full of meat?
Actually, it's more full of ice now since I bought a iced tea maker. I've been making iced tea every single day with that. I go through a pitcher of iced tea. No sugar, none of that. We need to lose weight. I get either the mangoes pleasure or I get the peppermint mint. So I drink at least a cup back on the water to 0.8 of a gallon a day, and now I drink a gallon of tea a day. and it's straight from the bag, water and the ice, nothing added. Because I need to lose this. Like,
Nah, you look good, Chiefs fan.
Oh no, I was supposed to be 50 pounds lighter by this summer. I gotta do it, man. I gotta do it by next year.
I believe in you.
See ya.
Goodbye, Chiefs fan.
It's Chiefs fan.
Guess what? I'm still looking for a job, bitches.
It's Chiefs fan.
I'm just gonna rub my hands together all day.
It's Chiefs fan.
There's a whole lot of DNA on this couch.
Let's hear it for Chiefs fan.
Look, it's my dead neighbor that I didn't kill.
I just love all the comments about Chiefs fan. And then Michael pops in. Sheffield and Monroe getting snaps out of JVC. Clearly they are right now. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. I would love to see JVC play a little bit. I thought he had a good training camp, good preseason. Coaching staff feels differently. Hit the like button if you're just tuning in. It's been a wild show. First ever Asmaniac power rankings for the month of October were revealed earlier. If you're not on the Patreon, you're missing out. I posted the full PDF document of the breakdown in the Discord. So you gain access to the Discord exclusively for Patreon members. Patreon.com/Jake Asman Show. Support the show by joining my Patreon. Ladies and gentlemen, let's say hello to the great B-Mac.
B-Mac. Look at my TV. B-Mac. I love Aaron Rodgers. Jets. Go Jets.
Good morning, Jake. Happy Tuesday for you. I'm shocked that Allen doesn't have a Jared Goff Lions jersey on. You know what I mean? And his Lions pom-poms. Because he's definitely a undercover Lions fan. But anyway, I am curious now. That catch by Garrett Wilson on Thursday night with the one-handed, you know what I mean? Like, that was so sweet. Now, I know when he went down, he had his shin in, right? So, So now does one shin equals 2 feet? Is that how that goes? Okay.
It's really any body part, right? I mean, we've seen one cheek equals 2 feet, right? John Madden famously said that on a broadcast once, and it's true. And then obviously the shin is also another part of the body that if you get it in the hip, you get the hip in, that counts for 2 feet as well.
Yeah. And then the one thing too. Now I know about Rodgers coming back. No, we're not going to get into that until the offseason. In your opinion, do you want him back?
Say it again, B-Mac. You cut out there.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry, my connection is just terrible. I know, but
we got to get your connection fixed so you can crack the top 25 or the top 10 and plus honorable mention list.
Yeah. Do you want Rodgers back personally, or what's your opinion about?
Yeah, I do. I do. I want them to draft a quarterback, and I want Rodgers to be the quarterback next year. That's my now. Things change between now and the end of the year. There's 8 games left, but that's what I would like a new coach. Aaron Rodgers at quarterback next year with Devontae back, and this team drafting a quarterback, and that guy sits.
All right, that's it.
B-Mac, keep up the good work.
B-Mac. Hey, you hater guy. Allen sucks, and JJ can kiss my ass before I wipe.
I just saw this come through the pipeline from PK Specialist. How do I join and how much is the membership? It is $5 a month to be a Patreon member. That's it. Less than a cup of coffee a month. You go to Starbucks, you go to Dunkin', it's less than that for the month. Patreon.com/Jake Asman Show. In fact, I think I'm just 19 Patreon members away from 500. So if you really want to support me, if you want the show to remain the show you've grown to watch every day, join the Patreon. That helps us continue to grow. If you sign up for the year, by the way, you save 15%. So if you just want to make one yearly sign up, boom, you're ready to go. You've done your duties. The link's in the description, but if you're watching live, I'll throw it in the chat right now. All right, a couple more calls and we'll wrap. Ladies and gentlemen, on the Gusbuster hotline is Dirty. Hello, Dirty.
Jake, what's going on, man? How's everything going?
Dirty, it's going all right.
Okay, all right. I've been MIA, a lot of political mail, so that has to get out. So but I have to say, I went back and I listened to every single one of those. It was like reading a scouting report. It was the best thing ever. Okay, it's like
unreal.
When me and my buddies have to do Zooms and we have to go over scouting reports. That's exactly what it was, and we went over every single one of them. And you nailed it when you were just reading through everything. And I think I would adjust some things in there, but I think V-Man's exactly where he's supposed to be. Bobby Midnight is exactly where he's supposed to be. The number one top are killing it. You know what I mean? Deservedly. I think Allen should be demoted a couple spots. Just my opinion, but I still think he's in and around that same area. Whoever put that list together was genius.
Boomtown,
Genius.
Tom Ace, and Rich are the three listeners, three diehard Asmaniacs who made it happen. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I wouldn't. I agree with you. We should try to make a move for another run stopper. Obviously, that's been something that has been really, really plaguing our defense. Obviously, our secondary is still doing what our secondary does, but I am still concerned about our safeties. We always seem to get hurt. We always seem to be having Ashton Davis in there some way, somehow, which I don't like because he has terrible angles and he doesn't like to wrap around and make tackles. And it's just, he had one tackle for a loss, great, but they just miss. I don't like the way our safeties miss when Chuck Clark's not in there and stuff like that. But I don't see us making any crazy moves. But
Jalen Mills has been pretty good though, so I'm excited about his potential going forward.
Yeah, I can see that. I don't see us making any huge crazy moves though. We can't take something in without giving something up, and we're just gonna, in my eyes, we're gonna lose something. I don't think we are in any condition to be losing anything right now if we have to make a run.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, if you could add a DT for a late round pick, that's probably the only move I would expect the Jets to make today. I'd be surprised by anything else.
Yeah, I hear you. All right, that's all I got today, Jake.
Dirty, good call. Appreciate you as always. Super chat from Philly Noodles. Can't believe I didn't hit 25. I burned cards. Philly, yeah, you had a good month, man, but I took 600 calls in October, according to Boomtown. It's hard to make the top 25. In fact, it's going to be even harder. I want a top 10 and then like 4 to 5 if there's really other people that deserve it. I'll leave it to the committee. Honorable mentions. Michael with a super chat. Did Cole agree to cover first base in the extension? Well played. Oh, brutal. I will say, good job by Brian Cashman with that one, though. Right? Scott Boras is like, we're opting out. So you give us that 10th year in the deal or we're hitting free agency. And then Cashman basically was like, yeah, we don't think anyone's going to give you more than what you're currently making. So, no. And then Cole's like, actually, I want to come back and I'll stay on my current 4-year deal that I would have been on anyway. And thus, the Yankees didn't have to give Garrett Cole an extra year. And Scott Boras took an L. Hopefully Juan Soto's like, I want to stay with the Yankees. And they can get a deal done. Boomtown writes in, Phil was easily an honorable mention. Him calling from the brick testing facility was awesome. Did Nate join the show, right? Late? Nate, go check the Discord. I posted the full PDF document. For those who missed it, the rankings are out for October. We're 18 Patreon members away. Just checked from hitting 500. So thank you to the best listeners in sports for their support. Let's see. Let's give a shout out to our most recent Patreon members too. 8 Path Jerry Moore, Jet, Set, Go, our 3 most recent ones. Thank you, guys. For those curious what the Discord is all about, let's give you guys a little look. All right, hopefully this encourages you people to join the Patreon, get in there. We want as many Discord people as possible. So here's what it looks like, right? I posted it as discussed on the show right now. Here are the first ever Asmaniac Power Rankings for the month of October. Click that. It loads. Boom. Everyone can see the full list. I should have just done this from the beginning, by the way. I knew it would be that easy to look like this on the screen. And look at the details here. It took like 40 minutes to read all this. Ladies and gentlemen, joining us right now on the Gusbuster hotline is the man who placed number 4 on the list for the month of October.
The only thing better than Alden shoes is Joey D, cause he totally rules. Jake, my brother, I'm high as a kite. I love everybody. Damn, this show is crazy.
Number 4. Okay, I see you, Boom. Man, shout out to Boom. The work that he does is incredible. I mean, even on Nick Shine's what we learned, he does that every show, and it is on the money every show. And the work that we all have faith that this is easy for him, but it's always top notch. Boom, shout out to you. We love you, brother.
Boom did a great job with the breakdown, and then give credit to Tom and Rich. They were part of the committee too that put it together. Excellent job all around.
Tom, Rich, those are 2 of my other buddies. Great job, fellas. Great job. Well done. Now I gotta step my game up, man. I only called in 7 times in October. Shit. I had a busy month, bro. I'm gonna, but where it's cheating for me is I'm just gonna have some, crazy calls with helping people now. We're just gonna have to do a couple more of those to get these rankings up. But it's Tuesday. Optimism is still alive in us. I still can't stand all the Joe Douglas slander. Still burns my ass. You guys are like always acting. Not you, Jake. I mean, yes, you're done with Joe Douglas as well, but it's just too much. If you just ever go back and just look, I'm gonna do what I want to do is I'm not gonna be able to do it on your channel because I would need a lot of time. But I'm gonna talk to my man Nick Shine and get me as a host on his channel, and we're gonna do an in-depth breakdown of Joe Douglas. And I want all the haters to come in, and I will address you in chat as we're talking and argue. Because we need to do a deep dive into the draft. Like Jake, for you, right? During draft day, while the draft is live, how do you feel about Joe Douglas? How does he handle the war room to you? Just on a scale of 1 to 10. What do you think?
Hey, Bones, it's just tough to be doing this right now when the team is 3-6. Can we see how the rest of the year plays out?
Yeah, you're right.
Why are you dying on the Joe Douglas hill when chances are they could lose Sunday and they're 3-7 and everyone is angry again?
I get it.
They
You're
won
right.
1 game.
Jalen Mills is a perfect example.
But that doesn't mean another GM couldn't also make good moves too if you hire the right person.
But we don't hire the right person.
Right, but Joe Douglas, I don't know if is the right person either. He's been here for 6 years. His team hasn't made the playoffs yet.
That was coaching, though, more than talent.
And he hired the coach.
But who would you have picked on that year? It was Hackett was available to be coach, Arthur Smith, Staley from the Chargers. Who else was that year? It was the Jags hired, what's his name? Urban Meyer. I mean, the coaches that year were god awful. So it was tough, man. We hired the best one that year.
At some point, you got to win, man. I mean, look at the other teams that were picking in the top 5 in 2022. You could have hired Brian, but you look at the teams that were picking top 5 in 2022: Jacksonville, Detroit, Houston, the Jets, and the Giants. Of those 5 teams, 4 of them not only made the playoffs, but won a playoff game. The Jets haven't sniffed the playoffs since 2010. Like, at some point, you got to win.
No, I know it comes down to winning. I just hate the hate. You could always just go back to that, but at least say when you're saying, all right, look, Joe Douglas has still done a fantastic job of drafting, putting together the roster. Everybody believes in their draft picks. I mean, not for the first year, like Will McDonald or Tittman, or everyone's like at first like, oh, but then they turn into good players. You like kind of expect when Joe Douglas drafts somebody for him to be, to turn into a cornerstone. Our whole defense is so even when you want to talk about Joe Douglas sucking, just say his record. That's all I want to hear is his record. I want to hear, Tristan Wirfs over.
It's amazing
Becton.
because right here in the Bonesy rankings, the man appears to be the lifetime president of the Joe Douglas fan club. How that affects his ranking in the future is yet to be seen. You're at number 4 on this list for October, Bonesy, but man, did they nail it with your breakdown.
That's a true statement, but if I need to, I'm just gonna give you guys some really live good footage of me helping customers. Now they'll just pick me back up. I got the cheat code over here. So, but you're right. We gotta wait, man, because if we do lose on to the Cardinals, and then it's gonna just be back to.
And I can see them losing Sunday. The Jets have lost this exact game so many times in their history, so I'm preparing for them to lose.
I agree. This is not a good matchup for us. What we really are depending on is Aaron Rodgers and his health. If he's not lying, and this cayenne pepper, how are you feeling today from the cayenne pepper?
I got to be honest. I'm pretty tired, but I was out late last night, so that might have something to do with it. I'm pretty tired, but I had some fun last night, so that might have something to do with it.
Fun over cayenne pepper. We get that. But if Rodgers is feeling good, man, this is where it makes it. I mean, Rodgers is number 3 in the NFL right now in touchdowns. And people were 2 weeks ago like, oh, he's washed, get rid of him. Like, sometimes it's just like, fellas, who do you think we are, man? We've never had anybody be number 3 overall in touchdowns through half the season. So we have Rodgers. If he could find that magic and he's healthy, maybe we could become an offense that actually wins you games and not depend on, those defensive. And everyone said last year and stuff, we all thought it too, that people weren't taking chances as much. They didn't have to score on us because we couldn't score. Maybe that always did have something to do with our defenses being, always top 3, because that's why Saleh lasted as long as he did. We all felt the same way. Like, all right, let's give Rodgers a top 3 defense. And Saleh's whole thing was, if you can have a top 3 defense with the worst quarterback play in history, you should be able to do something with Rodgers. And it obviously wasn't just that. Saleh wasn't the right guy. So, but guys, boom, Jake, I love you, buddy. And
Bonesy,
shout out.
Hold it down today, all right?
I will, man. Hopefully I can call back in later on.
Ladies and gentlemen, the great Mr. Bonesy, who loves Joe Douglas more than any man to ever live. He loves Joe Douglas more than Joe Douglas's parents love Joe Douglas. Incredible. Jets Carberbagger writes, and I love hearing V-Man's political takes and watching Jake wonder when he should stop the video feed before V-Man says something that gets his channel in trouble. That is something I do consider with V-Man. But, on a day like today, this is a very big day for V-Man. I mean, he's been campaigning for months.
We now go live to our political expert, Vincent.
You want to be a real political party, target areas where you can win. Until then, you're going to be the political clown show that every American and everyone on the left is going to laugh at. So, that's all.
Helping us change the world. Thank you, V-Man.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have some exciting news. You'll notice in the chat, when Boomtown speaks, there's a wrench next to his name. We made him a channel moderator. Gator McCluskey has had the wrench since the very beginning for obvious reasons for what he does. We're going to give a wrench to the great Tom Ace and to Rich. We can't seemingly get them a channel membership, which makes no sense. But we will give them the wrench in the chat because they're the ones who will seemingly be putting together with Boomtown the monthly Asmaniac Power Rankings leading up to the Field of 64 for Asmaniac Madness in March. That'll be done after the show. I'm honored. The wrench is like getting knighted by the Queen of England, says Tom. Incredible. Adam says, insert wrench clip from Dodgeball. If I could play that and not get this channel copyrighted, I would in a second. Dodgeball is one of my favorite movies ever. If you could dodge a wrench, you could dodge a ball. Aunt Banks says, congrats, guys. Rich writes in, oh, nice. See, you can tell Rich is just on point watching this show. Because anyone who's watched the show knows exactly what the man is referring to.
Oh, nice.
Boom. All right, what a show. We're back at 4, roughly. We will. The trade deadline's at 4, so I plan on going live just after that. We'll see if the Jets do anything, and we'll get the latest on the state of the team. Potentially a Robbie Sable appearance will be coming. He's supposed to join us this morning, but he had something come up last second, so we rescheduled either this afternoon or at some point this week. Thank you all for the support. If you missed the Asmaniac ranking, someone in the comments, as soon as this video ends, please timestamp when that happened. And that's another thing I want to bring up. If anything fun happened in the show that you enjoyed, in the comments afterwards, timestamp it so people who didn't watch it live can go skip ahead if they want to see it. Just list what you saw and the timestamp. Let's get back in the habit of doing that so people can get caught up on the best moments on the show. Thank you all again for tuning in. We're back in the afternoon. Join the Patreon if you haven't done so already. My name is Jake Asman. This is the Jake Asman Show. Enjoy your day, and as always, Jets. Jets, Jets, Jets. All right, a lot of people still want in on the conversation. Let's go to this guy right now. Let's play the intro and see if it wakes him up.
It's time for another V-Man call. Hopefully he not sleeping. Adios mio.
V-Man? V-Man! Come on. Vincent, V-Man, I have coquito for you. V-Man, you've been named Puerto Rican Citizen of the Year. Wake up, sleepyhead. V-Man, wake up. Vincent? All right.
That's the end of that V-Man call. Now he can go back to sleeping.
You can't script this show, folks. It's the second time in 6 months it's happened. I was hoping he was going to wake up, though, because last time he woke up. Hey, V-Man, you up yet? All right, we'll come back to you. Is this show that bad today? Am I that boring? V-Man? No? Man, he's in a deep sleep. All right, we'll keep checking. Go back to the calls right now. This guy's not sleeping.
I think you got to put V-Man down in the bottom for the rest of the show until he wakes up. I think you got to. I'm sorry.
It's a little distracting. I'm not going to lie to you. Let's see if he's still sleeping. V-Man, you up? No? All right. V-Man's up next. What's up, V-Man?
Good, Jay. How you doing?
I'm good, man. You sound like you just got up from a nap.
I'm just mad, but no.
You look well rested.
No, honestly, I'm not.
You sure you weren't sleeping?
No, I wasn't. Yeah, but no, I'm just sorry. I honestly, I can tell you right now, I'm just like totally blanking right now.
V-Man, I'll let you get back to your nap. All right.
Right.
V-Man wasn't sleeping. I mean, you heard him there. I can't. I mean, that we just gave Gator the equivalent of like a guaranteed Oscar-winning script right there.
Hey, Jake, can you hear me?
Now, when Neil was the first caller today, the other guy who I was asked more about last night, besides Neil, is this guy online right now who might be sleeping. V-Man's up next. Hello, V-Man. Come on. V-Man, you up?
Yep. Sorry. Linus is right. Linus is freaking out. Sorry.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for Bass, and Jake. Get it started, Gator.
Bass, and Jake. Bass, and Jake. Bass, and Jake. Bass, and Jake. Well, Super Jazz always cut the line.
And the Buelo dances really fine.
When she's so tucking and back them jets.
My senorita, you know she gets real happy.
Real happy if that female look doesn't rhyme.
Hey, Gator, it's a family show.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. Bass, and Jake.
Billy Space and Jake. Billy Space and Jake. Billy Space and Jake.
Look, guys, I don't know how else to say this. Fact of the matter is, the team has almost no chance to win this week unless you click on the like button. Also, be sure you're subscribed to the Jake Asman Show. Let's do this. Go Jets!